People, get ready for Tammy Live, a celebration of life. Tammy Live seeks to inspire, motivate, and uplift. As a positive, happy, motivated, energetic person who highlights optimistic energy, get ready to laugh, get ready to dance, get ready to celebrate life with Tammy Live, starting right now. Welcome to Tammy Live. I am pumped, I am ready, because this is a discussion I've been meaning to have forever. My guest today is Kareem Nelson Hull, just an amazing young man. And we are here today, we're going to talk about daring to be different. Sometimes we think that we have to be like everybody else, to the left, to the right, or if you don't look like me, I don't know how to deal with you. Kareem Nelson Hull, he lives his life the way he chooses to live it. And I've always admired him to do that. And I want you to sit, get comfortable, because I believe you are going to think differently when we're finished this discussion. Don't move away. Tammy Live, we'll be right back.
You're watching JTV.
Welcome back to Tammy Live. If you've just tuned in, you are here at the perfect time. We're now going to begin our discussion about daring to be different. My guest today is Kareem Nelson Hull. He's just received his master's in international relations, an amazing person, but we are going to learn today that he's so much more than that. Welcome, Kareem.
Thank you for having me on the show.
I'm so
excited.
Let
me first say that I'm a big fan of your show. Yay! So I'm so happy to actually be on the red couch.
Aww, thank you so
comfortable
much.
here on the red couch.
And you look fantastic.
Thank you very much.
You look fantastic. For those who may not know you, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Kareem Nelson Hull. I was born Kareem Nelson Hull. And around my 25th birthday, I hyphenated my first name to be Kareem Nelson.
Okay.
Right? And that was in tribute to my father. Everyone calls him Nelson. His real name is Calvert, but everyone calls him Nelson. And I think my father is one of the most dynamic people that I know. One of the most dynamic men that I know. So in tribute to my father, I hyphenated my first name, so I'll always carry his name to be Kareem Nelson. Good, so you can call me Kareem or Kareem Nelson. It works.
Okay, good. You're someone that I've always admired because you're different. And you choose to be that way, and you stand out, and everything you do with passion, you do with pride, you do with perfection. One of the things that I've watched you do throughout the years is be so involved with pageants. Right. And you know, for young men to be involved in pageants, not just to be there as a chaperone, you are really passionate about it. You love it. So talk to us a little bit about how you got involved with pageants.
Well, the pageantry for me began with my sister, Ayana Hull Brathwaite. In 1996, she competed for Miss British Virgin Islands. She was first runner-up, and then she went on to compete for Miss Leeward Island Queen of Queens, which she actually won.
Okay.
In 1997, she chaperoned her first win, which was Vinya Brathwaite. My sister and I are very close, and she carries me along everything that she's doing. I have the ability to see what she's doing firsthand. It was in 2002 when a classmate of mine, Betsy Smith, actually decided to run for Miss BVI 1 month before the show. She called me and she said, Kareem, you have some ability. Do me a favor. Write her introduction speech. And that was the first thing that she gave me to do right off the bat. I wrote her introduction speech. She liked it. And ever since then, my sister has incorporated me a bit more and a bit more. And as she realizes my talents are began to grow, she started to utilize them more and more. Yes. So I'm to the point where I'm writing, designing, creating, and she's become an editor or the one that brainstorms, and then I start to edit that kind of way. So we exchange a lot of roles.
It's a beautiful team that you have. I just love to just look back and look at what you're doing. And one of the things that it draws me to you is that passion, is that drive. When your contestant is on the stage and you're looking with that, you want that person to win. But it's not just about winning for you. It's about seeing your work come to life, seeing your creativity come to life. So talk to us a little bit about what inspires you, what drives that passion.
First of all, I don't actually understand why women do pageants. I don't think they're that bad, but I always think, how do you get yourself into a competition? I don't particularly like to compete myself, but I'm able to align myself with a young lady's dream. When someone comes to you and says, you know, my mother or my sister ran for this same pageant, I want to follow in her footsteps, or I see this pageant as a way for me to get further education. I think those are dreams that you can't help but to align yourself with, and that's where the passion for me starts to flow. And they create this amazing plateau where I can show my ability to design, to think, and to create. And once the young lady and I, we bond, and all of the girls that I work with, we bond really, really closely. And once I start to explain what my vision is, and they start to become a part of that vision, and they give me their feedback, and we start to become a team, and we're in sync, it just fuels that vision, and you start to feel like you're one, and the vision is whole. It becomes real at that moment, and you go forward knowing that you want the young lady to do her best, because you realize there's a lot of things that she's going to personally develop, and she's going to also attain a lot of things going through the pageant.
Right.
But you also realize at the end of it, you want to help her to get to her goal, and more than not, we've been able to get her to that goal. Right. And that continues to fuel the passion to do it again. And it goes way beyond the win. It's about making the young lady's dream come true and bringing whatever she has thought about to reality.
Yes.
And on that night, you realize at the end of the pageant, the girls become so much more than just a queen. They're fully evolving human beings at that point.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about your work and your success rate.
Right.
I mean, you're not just for the Virgin Islands. You've done pageants all over. Talk to us a little bit about your work and some of the successes and maybe some of the experiences that gave you that feeling.
To date, my sister and I together and me separately, we've chaperoned 26 winners, or more than 26 winners, and that's been here in the Cayman Islands, in the United States as well. We help wherever people call us to assist. The creative process to get into one of the pageants in one segment, it actually takes a lot, in my opinion, out of me, because I don't ever just say, oh, I can do that. There's no set formula. Every young lady brings something different to the table, and you have to match your talents and abilities to that young lady. Then for a long time, I just sit down and I let God speak. And I say, what do you want me to do?
Right.
What do you want to bring out of me? And sometimes you're going to sleep. The idea comes to you, you have to get up and write. Or you're in town. I remember one time I was walking just towards Cricky, around E.A. Cricky's store. And that's when Cheryl Mahaj, who won this BVI, that's when her costume came to me as clear as day, right there in the street.
Wow.
And you just start to, you become in sync with yourself, and you realize when the spirit is talking, you obey the vision, and it becomes really clear, and you see it on paper, and then you start to bring it to life. That's how the creative process starts for me. And then you go forward to the show, and you're training the young lady all along, and you're having fun. I have a lot of fun with all the young ladies. And then it comes to this point on stage where you're watching them and you're realizing, wow, she's doing a wonderful job. And some of those experiences that I've enjoyed were Serene Descent, Miss Fifth Form 2005. During her talent, she sang that song proposing that we change the name of the high school. The high school's name was later changed, not because of the song, but maybe because of the song. You never know. right? And then there's a young lady like Kirsten Letson, who became Miss BVI in 2005. She came to me shy, but she knew what she wanted to do. Right. She made one commitment, that I want to do what Serene did. She committed to herself, and on stage to see her become an amazing butterfly, in my opinion. She just blossomed on stage and went on to sweep the competition that night. Those are the kind of things that I remember seeing on stage that make me feel like, wow, you're a part of something bigger here when it comes to fruition. So
those are some of the proud moments that you've had, and share with your sister.
Right, and there are a lot more. I remember Josefina Nunez, you know, someone who would lose 120 pounds to get to her goal, and to go on stage and to remember when she was crowned, the first thing she said is, thank you, God.
Yes.
I would never forget that moment, because you realize that she had spoken to her creator, and I was in tune with the creator, my sister and I, and we walked together to the point where she wanted to be.
Right.
And there were a lot of successes. So Cheryl Mahaj had no voice the night before her show, and to get up and to go and to do so. Shawnice Leonard from Miss Eastern Long Look, who seemed to be so quiet ordinarily, but promised me, oh, when I get on stage, I promise I'm going to put on a show.
Yes.
And she did. And most recently, Washima Gishard, who didn't win her show. But there's so many things that I saw come out of that young lady on stage. And you just start to realize that, God, whatever the bigger purpose is for my involvement is, let it be.
I love how it's not just a pageant, it's so much more. It's about bringing this person from one point to another, and those feelings and all of the things that the training lasts a lifetime. I will never forget when I saw Josefina Nunez come out and said, it has been an arduous task getting ready for tonight. Right. And it was, you could feel it because you felt the work, and to know you were behind it. I've always wanted to sit down and speak with you.
I'm glad to be here.
Yes, we're going to talk more because we are speaking about daring to be different. You don't really see men involved in pageants, not to this extent. When we come back, we're going to delve a little deeper now into that whole way of life. Tammy Live, we'll be right back.
You're watching JTV.
Welcome back to Tammy Live. If you've just tuned in, you're missing it, but sit down now because we're about to go into a little deeper discussion about daring to be different. We're here with Kareem Nelson Hull, someone I've admired through the years, and I've always just looked at you in awe as you strut your stuff and move, because you know we're living in a society in the Caribbean, not just the Virgin Islands, where you go to work and people will say, oh, we don't wear that here. Right? Or when the First Lady Michelle Obama wore her arms out, people went crazy. Right. The conservatives, oh my goodness. Well, we don't do that here. I want you to talk a little bit about your experience and just the way you live your life every day, daring to be different, daring to be you. I
think it's so interesting that we use the terminology daring to be different. You know, we were all born different, so I don't understand what is so daring. I think just the anatomy, you being female, I being male, gives us different capabilities. And I think this is just an understanding that those differences give us a lot of strength, and being comfortable enough to use those strengths is the first thing in understanding what it really means to dare to be different. It simply means daring to be you. In the Virgin Islands, I don't find a lot of opposition in who and what I do or who I am. I'm a regular Virgin Islander. I think I have extraordinary thoughts that I'm not afraid to put into motion, and one thing that I'm not afraid to do is use my talent. Yes. I do not believe that if God has given me a gift, I'm not going to use it in a certain way, because using it in a certain way can cast you in a certain light. I know who I am, and I also believe that if I don't use the talent, it can be taken away. I learned that story when I was in church a long time ago, and I'm not willing to see my talents taken away just because I have to be concerned of what someone may think or may question, because I'm able to think of a design and put it on paper. I'm able to sit with someone and create a design from beginning to the end, to teach someone how to speak properly, to teach someone how to carry themselves, to teach someone how to become what they want to be. I'm not willing to lose that kind of talent just for fair. Right. So I'm not afraid to do that, because when you think about it, Tammy, the talent came from somewhere. Yes. I didn't sign up for it. Right. I didn't request it. I didn't pay money to have it. But it's here. Right. So if you realize that you have something that you're passionate about, or it comes easily to you, why not use it? Clearly, it's a gift that has been decided to be given to you. And if you can use it for positive and not lose yourself in the moment when you get to use the gift, I think that it makes you and the people that you're able to help with your gift even better. Right. You've made a strong point here when you talk about daring to be different. We're all different, but there's a confidence in you. There's a self-esteem that you've got. You know you've got that talent. You know you've got that gift. But a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people are struggling with that. So then when they see you come in, it's like, what the hey is going on here? Do you find that? To be totally honest, I struggle with the gift myself. Every time I go into a competition, weeks before, I'm sitting at home in the bed wondering, am I doing the right thing? Really? I run it through my friends, run it through my sister. Like, what do you think about this design? What do you think about it? Did I miss anything? My sister is able to edit things, but more and more you get confident in knowing that it has to be right. It feels right. So I don't see it. See it sometimes. And sometimes people always, like, they look at you and they think, oh, that person thinks they have it going on, or they have it, or they think they're gonna get this. Sometimes you're actually a bit scared to do so, but you move forward anyway. Yes. Once you understand that it's your purpose to do so, once you've communicated with your creator and you know that you're fulfilling your purpose, things will always fall into place, and you're always going to attract the things around you to make the things fall into place. So go ahead and do it anyway. And I always encourage people never to make yourself decrease, just to make others increase. And that's something that I'm not willing to do. So the honest fact is, sometimes you are scared. You are a bit timid. You hope people understand your vision. They see your interpretation. But when you succeed once, it's an encouragement to let you know you're on the right track. Absolutely. When you succeed the second time, it's more confident to say you knew you were on the right track. And as you continue to go, you start to get more confidence in saying, I know what I'm doing very well. And you build. But you never lose sight of the fact that you have to always keep connecting to the source source that gives you the information, and not yield to your own understanding. Spirituality is very important. For me, very much so. When I speak to young people about self-esteem, they might say to me, oh, I'm not confident. I'm just not, I don't have it. I can't be Kareem Nelson Hull. But I always say, fake it
till you make it.
Right.
That's important because you spoke about the fact that sometimes, look, I'm a little weary as well, but I get up, I put my best foot forward, and once I succeed, I learn to build as well. Haters, whatever you want to call them, there are people who, before you even step out, will say, where you going again with that? Now, I always embrace haters because haters always make me be amazing. I always said to young people, if everybody loves you, you walk into a room, you don't check yourself, right? Because you're so engulfed in love that you don't think you need to do that. If you walk into the room and you see people who may not like you so much or may want the worst for you, you say, oh, okay, let me.
Right.
So I always say haters keep you in check. How do you feel about people who are just negative? Not to put a name on them, labeling haters, but how do you feel about negative people and that negative energy that some of them give off?
I think I've come to realize that people who emit negative energy are actually reflecting something that they're uncomfortable with themselves, and that to me makes me even a bit more compassionate for those people, because I feel they haven't come to the point of evolution where they realize that if you are happy with yourself, then you're able to be happy for another person or whatever they're able to do. I also do believe sometimes when people have things to say, you should also be cautious about yourself, right? We are living in a world where people are all around us, and the things that they think about us and they say about us aren't always true. But more so or not, you can use those things to ask yourself the question, well, is this true? And are they really talking about me? Is that the person I am?
Right.
Is that the person I have become? So people should be in tune to be able to understand that people may say like rude things, bad things, but when you're in the comfort of your own home and when you are with yourself, you should be able to ask yourself those honest questions like, is that true?
Yes.
And sometimes you can use those things as litmus tests to make sure that you are going on the right track. Or you can say, God, whatever is bad in me, have it be found out within me that I can erase it.
Right.
So when it comes to this haters, you know, people that I'm wearing the hater blockers, I don't even understand it a lot. You know, the Bible says that when you please God in all your ways, then everyone will cease to hate you. And I'm sure I've not come to that point yet. I'm working daily on that. But I really do feel that the more that you go through life and you share love and you are who you are, you will see that the hating, it will decrease, because people will start to realize he's going to be who he is anyway.
Absolutely.
You're going to be who you are anyway. And then they'll start to realize I'm wasting my time anyway. So let me just stop.
Exactly,
you know?
exactly. Because it's not doing anything for you at all.
Doing you nothing. You know, that color of envy is not a good color on you. Hate is not a good color.
It's not
good color
so
on you.
just stop it and focus on you.
Right.
Before we go, because I want to talk about, you know, the advice you can give for other people who are really, you know, struggling, because we do have young people, older people who I might want to wear this, but all I just have to hear is somebody say, oh, I don't like that.
Right.
I've seen people go into the store and love something, and their friends will come in and say, I don't like that. And they put it back without saying, no, but I like it.
Right.
Speak to that person now for me. But before we do that, I want to just talk about the dress and the whole look. And where does your inspiration come from, man? You're fly every day.
I must say it must be people in my family. I have an aunt named Ailita. I have a sister named Ayana, and they turn it out all the time.
Well,
so I mean, and I have cousins like you know, Sean and Jason. They've always been dressers, and I've always been around that. So I picked it up naturally, and I put my own spin on what I like. And I believe that no matter where you shop, it could be in Ross or it could be in a dollar store, you will always buy in your style.
Yes.
You know, so I just know what I think I like. I try some things at home before I come out in public. Take a real look and ask a real question, you know, before I feel like comfortable. And I have a lot of friends around me who always say that, you know, you can wear that. You know, I may not wear it, but it's something that you can do. And that's something that we have to be mindful of. Sometimes we ask people our opinions. What do you think about this? And when you give that opinion, you should always think, I may not wear it, but the question is, what does it look like on the person? That's the question you should always answer.
Good point.
So I just wear what I feel is comfortable. And I'm also a member of a fraternity named Kappa Alpha Psi, you know, and they consider themselves the pretty boys. So being in college around like all these men who are handling business but always looking well, you know, it encourages you to make sure that once you're in that kind of company that you always look good
Surround yourself
so.
with people who are going to lift you
Right.
up. Excellent. So now I'll speak to that person who's still listening to you but saying, oh my goodness, Kareem, I really want to embrace that, but how do I do it?
I want to say that person, the reality is where you are right now is not an indication of where you can be. When I was in high school, I never wanted to kill myself, but I always wished the earth would open so I could fall in. Yes, I used to think about that all the time. Like, man, I don't want to do this every single day. But then I realized, what if it had opened? You know, I wouldn't have been able to feel all the things that I feel now, to enjoy the things that I do now. What's going on in your life right now won't always stay. Weeping may enjoy for a night, but joy may come in the morning. Hold on and keep walking towards it. Take small steps. The little things that you want to do, even if it's something that you want to wear, go ahead, wear a little piece of it before you start evolving. More and more, you'll realize you'll catch your stride. And once you catch your stride, there's going to be wind added to your sails, and you'll continue to sail the course that you want to be. So don't be afraid. And I always want to encourage people, don't decrease to others to increase. And remember that don't allow yourself to tailor yourself so much, because the world is not going to tailor for you. All the people that you're trying to make sure that they are okay with what I look like, they're living their lives anyway. So go ahead and live your life. And we only have so many days afforded us in life. Do you really want to die today and not fulfill your dream?
Absolutely.
You know, and I think about people who go to college when they're 96 years old and they get degrees, because whatever you want to be, whatever you want to do, it will always be something that will follow you in life. You're always going to think about, I should have, I could have, and why didn't I? Don't let your life end without doing so. Absolutely. And I'm speaking to myself right now too, because I want to make sure that I always pray to God, don't let me miss the opportunities that I know are coming for me, because I feel that I'm so stupid sometimes. I miss some things. Like, you should have picked up on that, you know, but don't let yourself miss those opportunities. Try to be in the right places at the right times. I always pray to order my steps, that I'm there when you need me to be there. And that's the best way. I think you can address that.
Kareem Nelson Hull, amazing. I look forward to seeing you again.
I would have no problem. I love the red cup.
Thank you. Red is the color of life, and we celebrate life here on TAMILIVE. Thank you again for coming.
My pleasure.
Woo! An amazing discussion. Don't you feel fired up? Woo! TAMILIVE, we'll be right back.
You're watching JTV.
Welcome back to TAMILIVE. Ouch! It's now time for Tammy's Bucket of Happiness. But we're going to change that to Tammy's Happy Bucket. I love that. What am I reminding you about today? I'm reminding you to be grateful. I once asked someone to write down things that he was grateful for. He wrote down his house, the wife he was about to have, and other materialistic things. When he was finished, I asked him about being grateful for his eyesight, that he could see me, that we could communicate, that we can breathe in and out. Some people need machines to do that. He said to me, oh, that's a given. No, it's not. Breathing in and out, seeing, hearing the birds, feeling the sun on your skin. Those are things we need to be grateful for. If you wake up in the morning and you're more grateful, you will be a happier person, and you'll be able to embrace the true essence of life because you're grateful. Now, I want us to really wake up tomorrow morning and write down the things that we are grateful for. Everything that life has to offer, your family, your friends, the ability to walk, drive, your job, whatever the case is, write that down and you'll realize how much happier you'll be. So right here on TAMILIVE, I'm encouraging you to Welcome back to TAMILIVE. It's now time for Tammy's highlights. Today we are highlighting the Prison Fellowship BVI. Yes, this segment is proudly sponsored by SCA Cricky Law Firm. I am now here with Dr. Robert Wright. He is the Executive Director of the Prison Fellowship BVI, and now we're going to have a little discussion about the wonderful, amazing work that they're doing here locally and internationally. How are you?
I'm fine, my love. Thank you for having
me. Of course, I definitely wanted to highlight Prison Fellowship BVI because you guys are doing fantastic things. So tell us some things of the works that you're doing.
First of all, let me just say what our organization is about. We are a ministry that is dedicated to the rehabilitation of prisoners, but that's not all. We also deal with victims of crime, children of prisoners, families affected in the community by criminals. A lot of people today are working on the youth, and that is a problem that needs to be worked on. But there's a certain element of society that once they are in prison, what happens to them when they come out?
Right.
We have an issue here in the British Virgin Islands and worldwide that if all you get out of prison is prison time, then nothing was served.
Exactly.
We have to have ways to reconstruct lives, to put families back together, and to keep people from getting the revolving door of going in and out of the prison system. All of these things have to be worked on. On a local level, one of the highlights of our local prison ministry is that we have a halfway house, and we've built it without a single government dollar, and we have kept 4 prison inmates off the streets. Our ministry is a combination of the work of the church, the ex-inmates' family, and our prison ministry. That might not seem like much in a country like this where there's only 1 prison, as opposed to somewhere like Canada where you have 30 prisons across the country. But those 4 guys who are off the streets, who now don't have to worry about a place to stay at night, and now don't have to worry about where their next meal is coming from. They still have the struggles of life, but they're not around searching for ways to do damage in order to survive, in order to go back. So our local prison ministry is dedicated to the inmates' children, because when you send somebody to jail, you also send their family. The victims of crime, and I want to make that clear. Can you imagine what we would be like if a guy got out of jail and then went to make restitution to the person that he robbed?
Right.
I've been a victim of crime. I know how it feels to have your house robbed, that helpless feeling, the fact that all your possessions are gone. So we try to rebuild lives, and I think that we are doing an excellent job in an unpopular and unpopular ministry.
Absolutely. Internationally?
Internationally, in front of you, you have some of the samples of some of the things that are being done from the various prison ministries worldwide, from Asia, Colombia, all around the world, the United States, Rebuilding Fathers, musical projects, everything that is being done in order to ensure that lives are transformed. And it comes down to basically out for life. That is one of the things that we intend to have. We have to stop this revolving door cycle of people going back to prison.
Right. Now, I love to highlight wonderful things. That's what Tammy Life is all about. But I want you now to speak to that person who is still with the mindset of judging people who have been to prison and who are coming out really trying to make a better step in life. What do you say to that person who says, oh, you've been to jail, I just don't want anything to do with you? Please inspire them to shift the way they think.
Well, I think that the bottom line is we have to sanctify people with truth. And the truth of the matter is, no matter how you look at it, from what point of view, I could go on a long time, but very succinctly and very shortly, if you're a Christian, then you have to know that most of the New Testament was written in jail. Okay, by people. If you are somebody who's not Christian, but you believe in a better way of life, then all your New Age thinking, all your philosophy, it comes back down to the same thing: rehabilitation and restoration. In order for lives to be transformed, work has to be done in certain areas, period. That's it, that's all. And the work that has to be done from a caring point of view. We have to inspire people to change lives so that their lives can in turn inspire people to change lives. People are tired of hearing sermons. They want to start singing some. And the best way that we can do is point to examples in the community of people who have come out, who are now standing up, who are doing the right thing. I tell prisoners all the time, your condition is not your conclusion. And the only thing that you're supposed to do with this prison is come out so you can go back and bring somebody else out. And that's what our ministry is all about.
Dr. Robert Wright, thank you so much.
Thank you for taking the time to have us.
God
bless you.
Of course. God bless you too. Tammy Live, Tammy's Highlights, proudly sponsored by SCA Cricky Law Firm. We will be right back.
You're watching JTV.
Welcome back to Tammy Live. I am pumped up. You know, I'm always that person that is excited about life because I'm grateful for every breath I take. But with this discussion with Kareem Nelson Hall, I am even more fired up, and I know that you are too. The topic today was daring to be different. But as Kareem said, we are all different, and we're all thinking differently, and we all want different things for our lives. And I think it's important for us to step out and do what makes us happy and do what makes us feel good. You're not hurting anybody. Why not live the life you are deemed to have and embrace all of the fullness of life? When I started Tammy Live, I was nervous. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know where I was going. And it was really a push that my husband said to me, girl, you're not getting any younger, you know. You should do it. And now that I'm living my dream, I cannot even begin to express to you how amazing that feels. And I want to take this opportunity to thank all of the persons who have supported me and who have given me that lift to keep going. I'm going to encourage you now, whatever your dream is, wherever you've seen yourself being or going in life, just get up now today and say, today, I'm going to dare to be me. I'm going to dare to be different. And I'm not going to live for the person next door, for the friend or whoever. I'm going to live for me, because people, if you do get to that deathbed, you don't want to say, I shoulda, coulda, woulda. You don't want to be living and thinking of the regrets. And as Kareem said, that person who's telling you no, who's keeping you back, who's not helping you fulfill a dream or giving you that support, you can't tell them how to live their life, you know, because they're living it anyway. So go on with your bad self and dare to be you. Dare to be different. Dare to be happy. Oh, can you feel it? Here is to life and the living of it. Tammy Live. Just be happy. See you next time.
Tammy Live is proudly sponsored by Skelton Group of Companies, Umi Fashions, Premier Dental, Norman Allen Photography, DDLifestyles.com, and JTVLive.net. For more information on Tammy Live, join me on Facebook.com/TammyLive.
Wardrobe provided by Umi Fashions.